Hey guys and dolls, it's Johnny. Um, Today is the day that I'm finally going to tell you what the secret is that I have been hinting about for a long time now. But, there's always a but, right? But I'm not going to do it all at once. You guys know me. I am going to make use of it as a training tool to try and help you guys, whether you are creating your own business or making changes in your life in any other way. These tips will help you along that way. So that's why I'm going to show you these little tiny video bits over the next few days, maybe even weeks. It depends on how far we go with this. Um, and through that, I will share with you exactly what it is that I am doing and the new journey that I am embarking on, because I am so excited about this. This is just, major changes in my life and huge things. So I'm so excited to share this with you. So here's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to start off by talking about one of the foundations of any kind of change that we make. And that foundation is the space around us, the space that we can control, that is. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you something really super embarrassing to start with, that I'm going to, turn bright red if I really think too hard about the fact that I'm sharing it with you right now. But I want to share it with you because I want to show you how you can actually maximize your space in terms of making changes in your life. So I've already sort of started deconstructing this, but this is my old office space. And I'm just going to show you right now as I move away and share with you the horror that is my old office space here. This was my workstation, my desk that's broken, and here is my pile of things that just accumulated over time and that I just allowed to continue to pile up. And there's also bags and boxes and personal stuff. And you'll notice the worst part of it is that there's a huge bed in the middle of my office space, because guess what? How many of us have a guest room in our office? Well, here's the thing. If there's a big, huge bed in the middle of your office space, it's not an office with a guest bed. It's a guest bedroom with an office in it. So that's number one issue that I had to draw the line at. Now, most of you know that we're moving to Phoenix, and I'm going to take you with me as I take you to my new space. So this is going to be a temporary workspace for me. And it's not necessarily ideal, and I'll explain why in just a few minutes after I get down there. But if you'll notice, that first space was horribly cluttered and terribly, it was not a good workspace in any way, shape, or form. Now we might think, okay, all I really need is a little tiny space, right? All I need is like a little corner with my laptop. I could even use a workstation, at Starbucks or something. Well, the problem is that if your workspace is cluttered and not conducive to your work, then guess what is going to happen to the work that you do? It's going to be cluttered, and your mind is not going to be on task the way it needs to be. So let me show you my new workspace. So my new workspace is actually, the downside of it is that it's in the middle of the downstairs area. So when anybody is home, I have to share space with the rest of my family. However, the nice thing about the space is, as you'll notice, it's nice and open and uncluttered. So this over here is my current workstation. So I've got my two laptops set up because I do my music streaming for my workouts and things like that on there. And then over here, I work on, that's my main computer space that I use. And then it's got a nice window there. The view is not as lovely as it was from upstairs, but it's still nice open windows, nice open space. I've got artwork down here. I've got some cool furniture, and I also have a pool table. Now, not everybody has a pool table, I know. However, one of the ways that you can actually maximize your space and your working environment is to have some kind of a creative distraction in your workspace. So for me, I love playing pool as a way of just taking a little bit of a break from my work, but it's something that I don't have to put all of my time and effort into. And it's not distracting like a television show. Like if I were to get up and take a break and go watch TV, what's going to happen to my brain? I'm disconnecting from the work that I'm doing, and I'm not focused, right? But with something like a pool table or a gaming station, or just something that you can do like, playing solitaire, some kind of a mindless activity that is fun for you can actually be a really creative, it can allow for a real creative burst. Now, I'm still learning lighting and everything with my videos. So I'm going to try to turn this light off and see if that helps a little bit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I've sectioned off my space. So over there, now I know not everybody has a nice big space like this either, but you can really, you can maximize even a smaller space. Just don't put a big bed in the middle of it, right? So you've got, I've got this big space here, and then over here is my creativity station. And I've got 2 whiteboards, okay? Now, I use one whiteboard for my short-term actions, not my task list, but my actions, the things that I am going to do in the short term. So in this case right now, what I'm doing is I am working on my revamping my business plan and the services that I provide for people. So I'm really getting down and dirty with a lot of the services that I provide because my main clients are educators and clinicians. And so I'm really starting to target a lot more of what the services are that I'm providing for them. And then over here, you'll notice that I've got a movement board. Now my movement board, I'm going to talk about that later, much later. But for now, all you need to know is that the movement is the bigger picture. That's where I want to go eventually with my business. So I'm going to show you one last thing today. And the lighting's not really great from over here because it's right in my face. But one of the other things that I've done with my office space is I have made sure that I have some things that help me focus aside from the whiteboards and my laptop and everything else. These are just little memento things that help me focus and keep me reminded of what I'm doing. So here, for example, I've got an old-fashioned alarm clock. Now, this is one of those old wind-up deals. It was my grandparents when I was growing up, so I have fond memories of it, tick-tocking in my grandma's bedroom when I was growing up. But what this clock reminds me of is that time is ticking and that I don't have time to get distracted and procrastinate. So I keep that ticking in the background so that it's always an audio cue for me to keep at it. If I find myself drifting off and, Facebook walling or something like that, then I can pull myself back from that. Now, another thing that I have here is I have this little jar of brick dust from a place called the DPC, or the Downtown Performance Center in Tucson, Arizona. This was a place that we used to hang out at when I was a kid. So I've got a reminder of like something from my past. Then if you've seen the video with the magic therapy goggles, these are a little kid thing, a little fun reminder to have fun, but also a reminder to use my imagination while I am in my business. Heart-centered business is so much different, and I'm not going to explain that right now. That's for another time. And then another thing that I have here is this was a gift that was given to me on the cruise by one of my work colleagues a couple of years ago. It was a work cruise. And it reminds me of not only where I've been, but also where I want to go. And so I just have these little, I surround myself with these things that remind me of the job, not only the job that I have to do and the goals that I want to reach, but also it reminds me of who I am as a person, and it grounds me in what I'm doing. So I'm able to use my mind and my imagination. I'm able to use my heart and really, but I'm also able to have fun with it. Now I'm going to show you one last thing, because this is something that I'm going to be doing. I found this online leggings store And I love fun things. And obviously, because I teach yoga and I teach fitness, but I also, work as a professional, I need to not only have fun, but also be professional. And you can see how they're Gotham City villain leggings. That's what I'm wearing today. So where's Poison Ivy? There's Poison Ivy. She's one of my favorites. So I've got my leggings on. And what this reminds me of is to have super fun, not just when I'm at my office space, but when I go out anywhere in town. If I'm, going out around and I'm meeting new people and I'm inviting them to my events and I'm talking to them out in the community, that it reminds me that, my work is never done, but that's because I live what I do and I love what I do, and it's just a part of my life. So I hope that was helpful. Declutter yourself. That cluttered room up there, for some people is an exact replica of what's going on up in here. How many of you have that junk room? It's not just a junk drawer, but a junk room. And how many of you are trying to live in that space and do things in it? How many of you have a kitchen that looks like that, or your living room looks like that, or your bedroom looks like that? Think about your space and what it's doing to your creativity and your drive in terms of making changes in your life. If your kitchen is a mess, how in the heck are you going to lose weight? If you can't find anything, if you can't find the healthy stuff, you certainly aren't going to be able to, succeed at doing that. If your bedroom is a mess, how are you going to get enough sleep? You need to really work on organizing your life and organizing your space. So I hope that was really helpful for you. And I did give you a couple of little hints about what it is that I am doing. But I hope that you stick with me over the next few days and learn some new things that can help you in your changes and whatever it is that you're doing. And I love you all. Thank you for sharing with me for a little while. And I will talk to you later. Mwah! Love you. Bye.